Good morning. Today I'm planting some fruit trees. So I'm documenting this stage of the fruit growing process. What do we have here are apples, some Granny Smith, Pink Lady, and Fuji. We have some pineapple pear, Moon Grow pear, Bartlett pear, apricots. These are Royalty and Moon Park. Gold cherry, black, Tartarian cherry. These are plums, gold plum. Let's see. Metally plum and blue damson plum. And then here is some peaches. Sam Houston, Belle of Georgia, peach. And one fig tree. Those are fruit trees. There's a banana tree at the house also. Now, could see here, they look like they're about 4 to 6 feet tall. They're not single whip trees. They already have some branching going on. So there will be some pruning to be done, but not a lot, because there's already the main branches on. Might have to train the trees and, for example in this here, push these guys outward, and bend this here outward, put some sort of branch here to push this outward to try to make them grow more like a 60 degrees angle than this here is 30 degree or something. Anyways, that's the tree, the fruit trees. We got them here in Career, Mississippi, and I'll go show you how I'm going to plant them. Alright, step number 2. The situation here we have is grass. Okay, this is a big field surrounded by a forest, but it's grass. It's been grass for years and been mowed for years, which means this is a thick mat, and because it's been mowed with this tractor for years, it's been compacted. So the first thing I'm doing here is, as you could see, got the rototiller here on. I basically just tilled an area here where I'm going to plant a tree. I could have removed the top layer of sod to try to avoid having grass growing in this area, but I'm not going to be worried about that because I'll be doing something to prevent that as far as mulching goes. I'll show you that later. So that's the first step. The second step, which here I've done, is to get good old shovel out and work into digging a hole. This is going to be for the tree. Now, it might appear to be a very big hole, but some people would put an auger on their tractor or use a post hole digger and dig just a small little hole, plug the tree in there. which might work, you know, but see, the tree will go right in the middle there in that smaller hole. But the rest around here, I will be able to spread the roots around in different directions, cover them, water this whole entire area, and then because the soil has been compacted and it's a thick grass mat, by making a bigger hole like this, the roots will have an easier access in their first years of foraging around and discovering what they need as far as water and minerals and nutrients go. Let's just say I'm helping the first few years for roots to expand without having too much resistance. Okay? So that's why I did this hole so big. And there's a saying in as far as planting holes for trees, is that they say you don't put a $10 tree in a 10-cent hole. So this is not a 10-cent hole. Okay, so I have 15 trees, so I've just been working at digging 15 holes. And I have to say this, there were some areas where the soil was maybe 1 inch of this brown topsoil, followed by red orangey clay, sand. It's like it's a sandy clay sitting on top of a red urtisol clay. So when I found these holes, I basically decided to fill them back up and not plant the tree in there, which means that sometimes you have to be prepared to change your plans because you think, okay, I'm doing some landscape designing and this is where I want my trees. Well, that's all nice, but once you dig the hole and you see what soil is there, you have to be ready to pull the plug on your design and dig a hole somewhere else. So yeah, that's what I had to do in 3 different places. Okay, so that was step 2 and step 1 and step 2, and I'll show you guys step 3. Okay, see you on the other side. All right, step number 3. Step number 3 will be collecting all the materials you need before you actually put that tree in. Now in my case, as you can see here, or at least maybe you're wondering, what is that? That is a lot of wood chips. Okay, all of that are ramial wood chips. Now ramial wood chips simply mean small branches chipped. Not bark, not stem wood. Stem wood is logs. Not logs, not sawdust. It's small branches chipped. Not going to get into the details in this video why you don't want to be using stem wood or large branches or bark. That's a whole other video that I will be making when I explain what I'm going to be doing in these rows. Okay, this is going to be for agricultural purposes. Now, and then it will necessitate further explanation of the ramial wood chip technique of soil aggradation. In any case, I have a lot of wood chips. Now, I got these wood chips for free by making a little flyer saying we recycle wood chips for you with a map and a phone number and an email, and stopping those crews that clear the power lines in the county, and talking to them, giving them my flyer, and then telling them to where to drop it anytime they want. I don't even need to be here. I just explain to them how I want it, lanes like this, and they come and they just keep adding truckload after truckload after truckload. And as you might have guessed, I have lanes like this here of wood chips because it'll be way easier to just shuffle these wood chips onto the soil. And it's a strategic thing. It's easier for them too to work this way. So in another video I'll show you about gardening. Now we're planting fruit trees. So when you get these wood chips, they are chipping whatever is around the power lines. So here is a mixed wood of oak, pine, two or three kind of pines, many different oaks, too many types of oaks for me to know them all. Lots of live oak, privet, Chinese privet, which is a shrubby tree. I should make up my mind here. Sweet gum trees around here, not a lot. There used to be lots of sweet gum around here, but they cut them all down when they were making this product that they would ship. What was it again? Don't remember exactly. Well, it was a big industry back then. Anyways, so before I use these here as material for my fruit trees, I have to say this. There are some areas where clearly they were in a pine dominated stand, so all you get are needles and what you could suspect to be the small branches of pine, which is okay for many things, many mulching purposes, but not for fruit trees. You see, fruit trees are deciduous trees, and they don't mind being mixed in with conifers, but if you want to optimize it, you try to stay with deciduous mulch. So what I did is I just looked very carefully at the leaves that were mixed in here, and you see these are oak, and once in a while I'll see some sweet gum fruiting bodies, and then mostly it looks like oak here. There's also magnolia, but that'll be like, I would say, mostly oak, sweet gum, then magnolia, then some privet, and then you go all the way into the pine, where it's like mostly pine, and then some oak, and you got all sorts of situations. Now you could tell their blades weren't very sharp, but that's perfect for me because I want all sorts of sizes, because what I'm doing here is I'm bringing in some mulch to emulate the forest ecosystem, and I'll explain a little bit more when I plant the trees. Now, one other thing I want to show you before I move on to the next material that needs collecting, and I don't know if it comes out in this video here. You see the this white right there and right there, this white mat, this white here, okay, that is called white rot, or Basiomycetes, which is the scientific name of the fungus. Okay, it's a fungus. Now this here white rot is because it's white and it rots the wood of deciduous trees. It doesn't, well, it doesn't really rot per se, I guess. But anyways, if I was in the pine area of this pile, it would be brown, this fungi, and it would be brown rot. Now, you see here, there's some white rot in this here, which is good. I want to try to find some areas around here that have the most of this Basiomycetes fungi, so I could bring this mulch with its living organism that decays the ramial wood chips, or the ramial chipped wood. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna get that, and it rained for like 2-3 days in a row, which is wonderful because this material is also wet, which is great because which means the mycelium here, the mycelium of the fungi is like easy to detect. It's not spores, it isn't spore related, and I know that it's there, and this is moist. It'll continue decomposing down there. Okay, so I'll collect this here and I'll show you what needs to be collected after. Okay, I gotta work. Bye-bye. Okay, now I'm gonna get another resource, another material here. Hey, before check out the white rot. Isn't that awesome? So yeah, not everywhere there was some of that fungi. The top layers had none, too dry. In the middle, a little bit. If it was too thick, nothing on the bottom. If it was just thick enough and touching the soil, that's where there was the most. Okay, I'm gonna mix it all up. But here's something else. I'm gonna go inside of this deciduous mixed wood, okay, and I'm gonna come here and collect some of the forest topsoil, the humus layer. There's the top layer is called duff. Also, scientific terms, they will call it LFH, for L for litter, F for fibrous, H for humus. So right, so the leaves are on top of the fibrous, and then which is on top of the humus layer, and these three layers is what we call duff, or forest floor. And everywhere in this forest there has been a branch, a tree, a limb, something that has fallen throughout the years. Okay, so technically everything here, even if you don't see a branch, was a branch once. So this whole forest floor is basically just recycled branches, recycled leaves, and things like that. And what's doing this is the fungi in the soil. And the fungi are the first to come in and break down those wood components, those woodsy components, like the lignin, that gives the harder portion to the cellulose, to the wood structure. That lignin is hard to break down. It's like an aromatic compound. Aromatic compounds, if you learn that, if you know your chemistry, are rings, like the benzene rings. They're hard to break down because there's an electron shared between the carbons that bind the carbons even more strongly. Anyways, this is not a course in like chemistry, but just for those who want to know. Now, I've just scraped a little bit of this duff, LFH, and I'm going to bring this with me as my resource material number 2. And you guessed it, this is to bring the deciduous forest fungi along with me, okay? Now, just one thing I want to mention here. I don't enjoy doing this. The reason is I'm scraping off some of the forest floor, which is the skin of this organism. I don't enjoy tearing off bits and pieces of skin of living beings. So it has got me to think hard about not doing this anymore. So I'm working on, and this is a secret, don't tell anybody, but I'm working on making a wood chip inoculator. I'm working on making a product out of this stuff here that will be used to inoculate wood chips. So specifically for wood chips, okay? And for the brown rots and the white rots, depending on the types of wood chips, I'll have different inoculums. And yeah, I'm working on that. So I won't have to come here and scrape this anymore. I will be able to produce it on my own, using this stuff, of course, and then I could then just bring that resource material into my wood chips as I need it. Okay, so see you for the next resource. All right, looks like we're almost ready to go. Step number 3, which was just collecting the materials required, is done. Let me show you here my little planting trailer. Yeah, I have the wood chips, ramial chipped wood, deciduous tree, thank you very much, along with some Basiomycetes white rot fungi, the extra inoculum, the duff forest floor LFH, in order to add to the wood chips to make sure that they have everything needed to break down the wood. Having said that, this LFH is mostly L and F, not much H here. We're in the southeast of Mississippi, near, like, I could say, like the Gulf Coast region, just a little bit more north, but still the south. And it's so humid, and it gets so warm, and it raining. The rain, the humidity, the warmth, and then the winters are not too cold. Still microbial activity, I suspect. There is no humus. It gets eaten up and utilized by the biomass, by the trees. So that's the thing. If you go up north in the boreal forest, there's a really thick H. There's like an L, an F, and then a really thick H. Well, that's because it's cold up there. Humus builds up because of the cold. Okay? Little forest ecology 101. So I have the trees soaking here in this water. All right, I'm gonna do the apple trees first. I have my little barrel, my $30 food grade barrel, in which I put a little tap and filled with water. This is my watering tool for remote locations when it doesn't rain enough. But with the wood chips, I have to say, I don't really need a lot of water because this wood chip retains whatever rain comes in. Got my tools ready here. This is just a little drawing I made of the property so I could write down exactly where which variety of which fruit tree has been planted. You know, you don't want to forget because you're like, what kind of prune is this? I don't know. We put two kinds and I don't know which one is which. Don't want that happening. And I did this here. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit too precise, but I put this rope here just so that I know where ground level is. Okay, when I'm planting here, because I don't want to have to redo it because it's too, I put it too deep or not deep enough. Now what I know about planting trees is that these here were grafted, and there's somewhere here, there's a little area, probably right there, that is the boundary between the stalk and the grafted tree, and you want to keep that above ground. Okay, they say 2, 3, 4 inches above ground. It all depends on your roots, how far down they are compared to that boundary, because you want your roots to be at least like 2 inches under the soil. I mean, you want soil on your roots, but you don't want your grafted boundary there to be in the soil. Okay, and things will settle, so they'll go down a little bit. Not too much because I'll water. Okay, so I'm gonna start working this tree. I'm gonna just start by putting in that tree, and then I'll take a little clip, and then I'll continue until we get to the wood chips. Okay, gotta go do it. Okay, got the tree in, and I'm just gonna take a bucket of water, pour it around the root area to compact the soil and take the air pockets out. Now, one thing I noticed in this tree is it had a very small root system. It's kind of like, I'm a bit worried about that, but I guess we'll see what happens with that. What I did is I spread out the 4 or 5 little roots that were there and the smaller ones around in every direction I could, but there was not much on there. Okay, so let's water this and cover it with wood chips. Alright, this is the last clip. I'm running out of light here. It's getting darker. We're in fall, so we changed the clock back. It's getting dark early. So this is what it looks like finished. So you see, I didn't put the wood chips all the way to the tree. First of all, I don't want to cover up the graft area, which, by the way, is not very pronounced. It's very slight. It's about an inch above there. I watered it properly. I spread the roots out. This wood chip is inoculated, and see, the roots, they're not even close to feeding off of these wood chips. But these wood chips, they're not decomposed yet, you know. So this is more an investment in the future, and also it'll keep the grass from growing back, or any quote weeds, which I don't believe in. I don't think there's such a thing as weeds. They're just medicinal plants that we don't want to have around for some biased reason, because we don't know how to handle them. In any case, this wood chip is there for the food. The wood chips is the food for the tree for its immune system. That's a way of looking at it. It's like your gut bacteria is full of bacteria, lactic acid bacteria, and that is what gives you your immune system. Check that out if you're not aware about the link between your gut bacteria and your immune system. They are linked. Just like for the tree, okay? That's why, okay, one last thing. You noticed that I did not put in any compost, any fertilizer in the soil around the roots or anywhere there. Now, I'm not saying you don't need to do that. This is just how I'm doing it. I don't want to bring in chemicals, you know, like I don't want to buy this 10-10-10 fertilizer or whatever, this 1-1-10 or 1-10-1 to stimulate roots, or especially like I don't want to have this nitrate nitrogen source, because I'm trying to recreate here a forest type soil, and forest types soils are fungi dominated, which means they're more ammonia type of nitrogen, not the nitrates of the bacteria. So, and I don't garden with chemicals. I mean, look at all these trees around here. They are doing great, and we're not putting any chemicals there. And of course, the fruit trees, they're not 100% natural per se. But there's, I think there's a way of doing this here without bringing in those chemicals from the store. And this is what I'll be doing. And I'm not saying everybody should do it like this. This is just, I'm just documenting how I'm doing it. And so that in like 20 years from now, if somebody says, well, how did you actually get these trees established? And then I'll have this video. There's a few things here that I'm going to do. I'm going to prune these trees, and I'm only going to prune them maybe once. Like this guy here has, you see, 2 leaders. This 1, 2 here, right? And these 2 are pretty much the same height. I don't want that. I'm probably going to take this one off, the second one off right there. Then I'm only going to have 1 single leader, and then I have this branch, and then on the other side, the other branch. That's nice, because I could, this one has a nice angle to it too. See, I could make sure that it stays as, with this angle, I could push maybe this one out a little bit by putting pressure here, putting a stick or something to keep it that. These will become 3 big, huge branches that'll go really far. And they're going to weight the tree in 3 directions, which will be good. And off these 3 big branches will come a lot of other branches, and that will open clear up the middle. And yeah, I'm going to do the 1 leader as low as possible. The 1 leader and branches that go all around the tree as low as possible, and with like a 60-degree angle as my main branches. I'm not an expert at pruning. This is just stuff that I like found, you know, reading books and looking different techniques. Maybe, you know, I'll do different stuff as the tree grows, but this is like the starting point. I'll start it off like that, and then we'll just take it from there. There's nice thing about trees, you have time to read up on stuff. After doing this, I'll have a whole year to read up on what to do next. This is what I'm doing now. And the last thing I'd like to say is I am going to now end this video, and then I'm going to just sit down here calmly by the tree, and I'm just going to sit with it a little bit, and I'm going to thank the tree. I'm going to welcome it into this world. I'm going to welcome all of the fungi. I'm going to welcome and thank and everything, and put in intentions of health and cooperation as I co-create with all the living and non-corporeal beings that will make this tree and everything living off of it healthy. That's my little spiritual ending. Okay, so this is it. I'll see you in 20 years. No, maybe when there's some fruits, I'll make another clip. Or maybe I'll make a clip about how I'm going to be feeding lactic acid bacteria through fermenting different types of plant material. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.